part of the closet.
There's nothing like a new home, and 5-year-old Wiley is quite proud of his family's new house in Western Massachusetts. He's a big fan of the closets.
A little place where I keep most of my toys.
And he helped paint the walls.
I painted a lot in the other bedroom.
But there's one thing that Wiley really likes about his new house.
I like that it's solar.
Wiley's house came with 2 kinds of solar panels on the roof, one for electricity and one for hot water. His duplex is one of 20 low to moderate income and energy-efficient homes being constructed at this development called Wisdom Way Solar Village. I asked Ann Perkins, who's directing construction of the project for the Franklin County Housing and Redevelopment Authority, about what makes these homes so efficient that they're almost off the grid. They call them near-zero net energy homes.
Zero net energy home is one that actually uses energy, but then it also generates energy, and it nets to zero in terms of what's generated and what's used.
We checked out Wiley's basement, where a direct current inverter keeps track of how much energy the panels are generating.
It's showing today 5 kilowatts have been generated.
And estimates how much carbon dioxide is being saved by not using electricity generated by fossil fuels. These homes are designed to save money, too. Owners can expect to pay $2,500 less each year for energy than owners of conventional homes, according to the builders.
If the families who buy these homes and live in them are reasonably conservative in their energy use, they will not pay an electric bill over the course of a year.
Though the homes have visible solar panels for electricity and for hot water, the real energy savings are in the walls. I talked with Chris Farley, one of the development's architects, about one of my favorite subjects, insulation.
We have what is essentially a 12-inch thick exterior wall. There's a double stud wall, one stud wall for the exterior, one for the interior. And since we have 2 walls and there's no connection between these, we can fill that with insulation. We get a very tight, very well insulated wall.
The insulation the builders will use to fill up the walls is the same stuff I had installed in my attic.
In addition to the extra insulation, when it comes to residential construction, it's air sealing, air sealing, air sealing. It's sealing the envelope as tightly as possible.
We actually just had some of this foam sprayed along our rim joists in our house, and we've had some insulation put into our attic, the blown cellulose insulation. But, you know, am I ever going to get my house, which is basically we're retrofitting, as tightly sealed as this? Is it worth it for us to kind of tear out the walls and do this? Or what do you recommend a homeowner who's not building a new house?
Right. Well, I mean, I think the answer to your question is no. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to start tearing apart your entire house if it's already constructed to try to make it tighter. But anything you can do to decrease that infiltration and increase the insulation value of the exterior walls is a good thing.
Okay, well, that all sounds great, and clearly they've sealed the envelope on these homes, but it gets cold in Western Massachusetts. What about heating, I wondered?
Can't buy a boiler in America or a furnace in America that designed for such a low heat load. They just don't exist.
Turns out the houses are so well sealed and insulated that they only require a small gas heater to warm the entire home, one that requires less than a quarter of the energy of many conventional furnaces. Wiley's mom, Nancy, said she's thrilled to be living in such an energy-efficient home, and their last place sounded a bit like my new old house.
The place we lived in was very energy inefficient. You know, I was always having to crank up the heat, and I did feel a little bit, I just felt a little bit icky and kind of guilty about cranking it up and turning on on the lights and feeling the air leak out through the floor and into the basement. And here it's just so different and so nice.
One of the most interesting things about these homes is that they're actually quite affordable. Depending on the size, they would range from $210,000 to $240,000 on the open market. But 11 of the units are subsidized and reserved for low and medium income buyers. They can be had for as little as $110,000.
People are being attracted to that low utility bill and the comfort of living in a really, well-sealed, well-insulated home. It's really comfortable.
It's too soon to say if this sort of subsidized green housing will catch on nationwide, but Anne is optimistic.
We have sold more houses than we've built.